We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Charlie. Welcome to the new episode of BCS Talks. This is the second episode of our series of podcasts. And today I'm very happy to have Jasmine and Chris with us. Say hi to the audience here.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
Hey. So I'm going to start by introduce my two guests here a little bit, and then I'm going to pass on the microphone to them so they can introduce themselves. First, I've got Jasmine here. She is in 2024 cohort, and she studied environmental engineering from Waterloo, and she came here, I think in September, right?
Yeah.
To Vancouver. And
No.
oh, not really.
I've been in Vancouver for the last 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good to know. And I've got Chris here. Chris is from Montreal, and he studied commerce before coming to BCS, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to pass on the microphone to Jasmine and then Chris, and say hi to the audience here. Yeah.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about your story before you come to BCS?
Yeah, for sure. So as Charlie mentioned, I did environmental engineering at Waterloo. I graduated in 2020, and after that, I was hoping to do a master in civil engineering with machine learning applications. And I started that at UVic and for a year, but during COVID it was a bit tough, emotionally, just feel a bit lonely. Then I got into a co-op with a local tech company in Vancouver, Golf Tech, and it was so fun. So I quit my master's and I ended up working full-time for the company for the last 3 years. And it's a small company, small startup. So I was wearing different hats, like from product to customer success to quality assurance and everything. But throughout the entire time, I was like wondering, what is software development? It's like I want to get to know that better because I feel it can be so elegant and fun. And then there's some programming courses on the side, like with Audacity, and I thought, it was really fun. And I discovered this program BCS through my ex, who did it before.
Oh,
Okay.
And whenever I had doubts about my career, I always go on BCS, like the about page.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe I should do this one day, and then this year felt like a good time to apply, and I got in, and I just decided to make the change.
Okay, that's really cool. Welcome. And Chris, can you tell us a bit about your story also?
Oh, yeah. It's been a wild ride getting here. So I think the place I'd start is as you said, I studied commerce. I was an international business major at Concordia University in Montreal, and I was on the case team there, which was a lot of fun, just kind of solving business cases. And the idea was you do this in school and then you go to consulting, like at KPMG or the Deloitte, or if you're really hot stuff, McKinsey. And so I was actually, in my last semester, I was in Singapore. I was on exchange at NUS, and I did a case, and
I was there too.
No kidding.
Not same time, but I did exchange in Singapore and US as well.
We'll talk about that. That's crazy.
Cool.
But so, I was doing a business case there, and KP was the sponsor, and I just realized, I don't really want this. I've always been an artist, a creative person, and I was like, I feel like if there's any time where I want to try that career, it's going to be after I graduate. So what I did was I came home, and I made a music video because I really wanted to work at this creative shop called Sidley. And so I sent them this music video, and it was me parodying a Lil Nas X song. And that video basically led to a temporary internship at the company, and then I leveraged that into a full-time offer. And honestly, I really would say that I had the stereotypical, dream job out of college. And the creative industry is a really interesting place, and you get to touch a lot of different, brands and clients, and whether it be video production, or whether it be content, or design, or branding, or strategy. As someone who likes to do a lot of things, that was really the fit for me. And then I ended up getting put on a project that was actually related to AI because the ChatGPT API had just come out. Mm-hmm. And so our team was like, could we basically create a chat bot that would give you PR marketing strategies? And I was like, I volunteered because I had been doing some Python on the side. And so 2 people that I had met in Singapore ended up being my engineers. They went to UMich, And yeah, we did that project and I loved it. I realized like, wow, this is like, it's like, where has this been all my life? You know, like I love building things. I love the challenge, like the brain busterness of like coding. And I kind of just realized like, you know, as much as this is amazing, I have a feeling that without any technical background, like maybe if I had done like business technology management, maybe I could like push in to that industry like over time. But I was really like, I'm in the creative industry. I'm so far from where I want to be if I want to build more stuff that I got to find a program that can help me pivot.
Oh.
And so honestly, at the same time where a lot of my peers were now like considering MBAs, I was like, maybe this is going to be my MBA, but instead of learning business stuff over again, I'll learn how to build stuff in a software environment. So yeah, and then I got in, thank God, and moved across the country to be here. So, yeah,
definitely. So I also moved to Vancouver like a year ago. Before I moved to Vancouver, I took a look at the gas price over here, and I was like, wow, the price is crazy. I have to sell my car. So I was selling my car, and I talked to the dealer, and I told them, hey, I'm going to move to Vancouver, and I'm going to sell my car. And they told me, wow, it's like moving to a whole different country. I never thought about that, but when I actually took a look at Vancouver, and I realized like all the buildings, the climate, even the plants are different over here, right? Yeah, so it's definitely like a big change. Not only in terms of career, it's also a big change in life. So it takes a lot of courage to make that pivot. And I heard your stories, and I'm still surprised, although I have talked to you guys already. So like, sounds like for both of you, you guys right after graduation had a little plan. For you, it's going to a master's program, and for you, it's to go to a school in business. But then you start to realize that's probably not exactly what you wanted, and you just took another look at your life and figure out what you actually want in your life, and you made this decision to come to BCS. A lot of people share the similar idea. For example, me, I also after working for a few years, I started to realize computer science is going to help me a little bit. But still, there's a lot of people they just come to BCS, but they know I need something in computer science, but specifically in BCS, I still don't know what do I really want. For example, someone they wanted to study computer science because they know programming is going to help them a little, but like how the programming is going to help them in their future career, it's still unclear. You guys are still like very new to this program. I was wondering, do you have like a rough plan, like what your bridging modules are? What is the plan for you to take courses to get where you want? Have you guys have any idea about that?
Totally. You want to start off? I'm very curious about like your path and coming into this program.
Yeah, and I think there's so many interesting points you had in what you said. I just want to give a little background like about my life.
Sure, go ahead.
So the things like related to this. So in high school, I wanted to go into business. I was doing marketing like manager. Like I was a marketing manager at the school store. I was doing entrepreneurship after school, all that stuff. But then I saw my tutor had engineering. I thought that's cool. Why do you get a ring? And then that switched my path to engineering.
I wanted the ring.
Like over the ring. And also, of course, I was thinking about stability as a job.
Yeah, sure.
People say it's a great career, and it's like it's just good for you for money and then like status, all that stuff. So I just I'm gonna pick one of them. In all the different engineering disciplines, school offers. I was doing by process by elimination to figure out which program I want to do. So it's like mechanical too boring. Sounds too boring. What is this? So in the end, I landed with environmental engineering when I was applying for Waterloo, and I applied for civil for all the other universities I applied in Canada. And I was like, okay, then I got in I did not know what environmental engineering was about.
Okay.
Like I just thought it was like just nice thing to do because like environmental, you hug trees, you take care of plants, but no, it's about wastewater treatment and air pollution treatment stuff.
Okay.
So it's very different than what I expected. And then I remember I was talking to my mom. I was thinking about applying for system design engineering, but my mom said like, you don't know programming. Like, why are you applying to this? And at that time, I was just like completely discouraged from applying to that program
Mm.
because sometimes like when you're young, like things people say just affect you like unproportionally.
Yeah. Was this into your bachelor's?
This is not before bachelor.
So
when
she was
applying.
like,
Like
why,
high school
why
too?
would you go to school? You don't know how to already do the thing?
Yeah, because like I don't know. She's like, you don't know programming. Never did anything computer stuff. Like, why would you want to do this? Yeah.
Okay, I heard you.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
my undergrad was good in like in terms of I met lots of like people and like friends, and I get to know myself a lot. But I did not enjoy this thing I was learning at the time. Like
Mm.
if you talk to any of my friends in undergrad, like they always thought like I would switch programs, but it was really expensive to switch programs for international students. It's like
Okay,
rate
that's the
paying
reason why.
everything.
Oh my god.
Because
Yeah.
like the programming water is very specialized.
Mm.
You have to like take the environmental engineering courses from day one.
Okay.
Like we had like design course from day one,
Hmm.
which is really amazing. Water to be honest is really great school after being to other schools. Well, UBC is also good.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, yeah, I was thinking, okay. And during the degree, I was not doing environmental engineering stuff. I was doing civil engineering stuff with transportation engineering, and I also was doing mechanical engineering stuff with
Wow.
like energy transfer, HVAC stuff.
Yeah.
Like my co-op like consists of like energy management with cities or like contract administration for consulting firms like WSP.
Mm.
Like none of them had environmental. Maybe because like I didn't apply, I was not good enough. But anyway, so there was a lot of like self-doubts during that
you
period.
did a lot of trial.
Yeah, and then I decided to go to like a master because of my exchange experience at in US. I took like data science for built environment, and data science, and that's what a CS course, 400 level electrical engineering courses on machine learning. So I learned about those, and I was like, okay, this is cool. This is more fun than what I would be doing. And then like so when I was graduating, I could go into like there was 2 job offers, but then I decided to like do a master in machine learning because I feel that's more fun. It's more edgy. Like you're at the top of like technology, like the where things are. And then I feel like civil engineering industry or infrastructure industry, overall, it's lagging behind. Similar to government. Like government is also in the later part of the technology adoption curve. So I feel like I wanted to just like apply those new shining things into the civil engineering industry, area. So that's why I decided to do a master with Professor. I forgot his name actually, Yuvik. But then and like I said, like things were hard for emotionally during COVID because just like I'm only by myself, remote everything. So once I got a full-time job in person, like a co-op job that's in person, and it's really fast-paced. Startup is so different from any other companies I worked for at the time because like it was government jobs and all the other stuff. Like it's very slow. But startup like 2-week sprint cycle, you get things done. You can see the output of your input immediately, almost. Like that was like immediately to me when I come from like construction projects. It's like takes up to 2 years, or even government's like 10 years. You plan the COVID, it's like 100 years, why not? So that was there during during the co-op, and I had so much fun. I was doing customer success and QA. And then after that, I like converted to full time because it was so fun, and I was doing from the masters, and I was doing like lots of different things. But I feel I'm taking too much time, but
you're good.
I feel like during that period of time, I learned so much, like different aspects of how a SaaS company works, and that company specifically. Like why that was my co-op company is because I met them during a transportation engineering conference, and they were a government tech company. And I also like similar reason to why I want to do a master for machine learning and civil engineering is because like I do want to bring technology to like government, and I want if you can't like overthrow government, you should try to improve it. That's my mentality at the time. I was like I want to work on something that can have a big impact to a large group of people. And I felt that was a good way to do it with this company. Besides doing data science stuff, actually later on realized it's like doing data management stuff, like closing, like breaking down the data silos between different departments in a government. I can talk more about the company, but we're not talking about the company right now. So it was really meaningful work, and I really believe the mission. And over the course of the 3 years, I have various doubts actually to thinking about, is this what I want to do? Because for me, the problem is always, like, it then has become, like, there's so many things I find interesting, but I don't know which one to pursue.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can see myself doing this. I can see myself doing that. Like customer success, yeah, QA, yeah. I can always take the next thing to get one level further. And then like my problem, statement I guess for my life was always like I feel like I'm like a jack of all trades but master of none. That kind of feeling. But of course, I found out there's like but better than master of one that some people say.
Yeah.
There's a follow up. But then like I think like software development's like this thing just kind of stood out to me because like I just wish I could have the ability to build something like throughout like various points during Urban Logic because I found the issue, I could not fix it, someone else needs to fix it. Like I want to make this thing faster, and I feel like I'm a little bit scared about the technical stuff sometimes. So I then took the online programming course, and that gave me a lot of confidence actually to then like dive into a problem and like just like figure out on my own. And I ended up doing some scripting to automate some workflows and showing interest to our front engineers about like, oh, I can see this, like I can open the inspect tool and change the color here. See how that looks better? We should do that.
Yeah.
Like we should do what design says to do. And then I think ultimately, yeah. And then I realized like software development, this thing is something that I probably want to learn in my entire like sometime in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm getting older, because everybody is, and I feel like the younger I am, the better I'm at learning. Which is not saying like if you're getting older you can't learn. No, not that. But just like biologically speaking, it might be a more advantage to learn now than later, and have more time to enjoy this new skill set and knowledge that I will be like I can like in the future, right? If I'm doing now and I have more time in my lifespan. So I thought, okay, so now it's something that this is something I want to do in my life, and I'm just doing it now.
Oh, okay.
And this will help me solve many problems, like, and then that's another topic on what problem choose to solve, and then like where do you want to make impact? What responsibility do you have for the skills you hold? Because I think that's like and then on that problem, I went to less than 80K hours, which I think.
No kidding.
Yeah. I saw on the Slack group that like people are talking about.
Yeah, I went through 80K.
Yeah, so 80K hours. I came across on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, because my search algorithm is like, I don't know what to do with my life.
That's hilarious.
Or like, how to. Basically, it's about. I can talk about what 80K is.
Oh, me? Oh my gosh. 8K Hours is a nonprofit dedicated to helping particularly young professionals, but all people find fulfilling careers that do good for the world. And what's really valuable, there are a few like takeaways I would find from all their information, and there's a free guide that you can actually order to your house, which is great. They have this giant index of here are a bunch of careers. Let's assess it based on your earnings, your direct positive impact, and the career capital, which is the optionality that it gives you to explore different paths in the future. And then very concrete advice on how to pursue that career path, which I don't know about you, but I found it's like the best career advice on the internet.
Yeah, I really liked it. I listened to the audiobook version because I do not want to read the text. And I think that's my guiding principle for my when I was doing for the last 3 years as well. I started listening to it like halfway through my 3-year period, and I was thinking, okay, right now I'm focusing on building my career capitals. Yeah, that's the theme I'm giving myself, because I don't really. Also, another thing I also believe is we can be so many things. We can do so many things. Our identity is not just one job title.
Sure.
We can have multiple job titles. You can change it up in later your life. But right now, if I have the more skills I build, the more experience I have, I believe diversity will give you give ability to think from various angles, and I think that's always a good thing. That's my belief for myself. Of course, might not be true.
I've got a question here.
Yeah.
So I've heard this ADK hours.
Yes.
So is it like a website, organization? What is it about? Sorry.
Yeah. There's a lot of information there. So 80,000 Hours is the name of the nonprofit, but 80,000 Hours is part of the larger philosophical movement of effective altruism.
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned there's positive impact.
Yeah.
What is that about? How do they determine what is positive, what is negative?
Yeah. There's a lot of research and effort to determine what that actually means.
Yeah.
And there's a few ways that they measure it. Let's give the the economist view is that the actual quality of life of a person can be measured, that a healthy year of someone's life is something that you can consider a unit of value.
Okay.
And so if there is suffering in the world, say people are suffering from different diseases or poverty or oppression, that these are healthy, happy years of someone's life that are being lost.
Yes.
And the philosophical argument is that a good purpose for one's life is just to reduce the suffering of conscious people.
Mm.
And so when we say positive impact, we're really talking about, are we creating healthy years for conscious beings? And that doesn't mean just humans, it's animals as well. Like, so for example, working in animal welfare, being an advocate against factory farming,
Mm-hmm.
improving, like lobbying different interest groups, like to institute new policies like protecting animals, that's a positive impact job.
Mm.
But conversely, and here's like more, I guess, like the finance side of it, is that, you know, if you're someone who doesn't necessarily have direct impact on the world through your work, and a very like small footnote to this, there's this recurring joke in Silicon Valley, like, we're making the world a better place
Uh-huh.
through cloud-based algorithm selecting sourcing or something.
Yeah.
And like, so the joke is that like everyone in Silicon Valley thinks they're making the world a better place, but they're just making a bunch of money for investors. Like,
I heard you.
but the idea is that if you earn a lot throughout your career, you could donate that as well to charities and organizations that are doing the work. So
I see. You can channel your like capital gain to investing to make other people's or animals' life better.
yeah,
Okay, I see. Oh, that's a very interesting idea. So, do you guys actually consider your future options based on this kind of framework? Like when you choose your next job, when you choose to come here to get ready for your next job, do you actually like take like evaluations in this framework?
yeah, I'd say
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I think also when it comes to any field and not just computer science,
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to evaluate what are your strengths, what's your personal fit, because I think in a lot of knowledge work fields, and we are in a knowledge economy, like most of the Western or developed world is, by being in the top of your field, you can have just a outsized impact on it. I think that there is a amazing opportunity for you to work in a field where you can be in the top 1% versus being in the top 10%.
Yeah.
And so I think what we're really constantly scanning for is we want to have the optionality to have multiple paths, which is what you mentioned about career capital. Because if I realize that I have a skill set that is extremely relevant to a specific position, it's like I have an amazing opportunity to potentially like be the world like expert on something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I heard you.
And yeah, and so it just happens. I guess computer science is a very good like portal to a lot of different opportunities like that.
Mm.
But absolutely, like I think a lot of people crave like purpose in their job, and sometimes it comes second to building career capital. But it's like, what is your end goal? Do you want to make a lot of money? Like, that's fine. Like a lot of people want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you are saying like, I'm gonna work every day super hard, and then eventually I'll be successful, but I don't really know like how I'm gonna be successful or like what my like ideal life looks like, then it's, I don't know. I feel like even I burned out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I
On that
gotcha.
path, you know.
So let's take you as an example. Like, can you tell us a little bit of the reasoning of you choosing to go to like computer science and plan your study here based on your values and your like entire system of evaluation?
Oh wow.
Is it something a
Yeah.
bit?
No. We can definitely try. I think one of the ways that I make decisions, and there are small decisions that you make every day,
Yes.
and then there are very big decisions. And actually, Shane Parrish, who is a really great resource for all this type of like mental model thinking, look him up. He has this framework where if there's a big decision that is very difficult to reverse, delay that decision as much as possible. But if the decision is non-consequential and very reversible, make it as quick as possible.
Mm.
So it's like, what do you want for dinner tonight? Well, it's like, oh, I guess once dinner is done, it's like, well,
Yeah.
I guess I can't reverse it, but it's not really consequential, so just make a decision, who
Yeah,
cares?
sure.
But when it comes to picking a degree and moving across the country,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the type of thing that is, you really got
Want
to
to
make sure you
defer.
want it,
Yes.
So I like to think of big moves like that as offensive and defensive moves.
Mm.
And an offensive move is one where you're making an investment based on your own indication that you have opportunities to seize, rather than external forces that are forcing you into a position of safety. And getting a second degree for a lot of people can sometimes be a defensive move.
Mhm.
A lot of people pivot with either a professional master's or just going back to grad school because the economy is not good.
Yeah.
And hey, I hang out in the MBA subreddits. Like, it's like, hey, is now a good time to do an MBA? Like, because just got laid off. Like, there's a lot of questions to ask. And I'm very lucky that when I realized that I wanted to have a career in technology,
Mhm.
I realized that UBC was actually a great offensive move for myself because I wanted to live in Vancouver. I wanted to see what the city had to offer. I wanted to be on the West Coast. But also, I really liked co-op. I like that the school has a great reputation. BCS seemed to have a really strong community.
Mm.
I was actually just telling my mentor last night that I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of part of an MBA cohort. Like, I see someone in the hall in BCS, I'll be like, hey, BCS. And like,
Yeah.
I feel like people look after each other. And so I can confidently say that, like, the decision to come to UBC was not a sense of burnout or malaise of working in marketing.
Mm.
I'm so grateful for the 2 years I spent. It was, I am just so excited and grateful to be on this path that whatever happens, I know that 100%, like, in my heart, like, I applied myself and I knew that I wanted to do this. So offensive moves feel really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I think though, if you have to make defensive moves, it's an opportunity cost, because there's an opportunity cost to pausing your career and going back to school, right?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So, like, you voluntarily, after long and thorough consideration, you decided that coming to BCS is going to benefit you in the future, and it's going to give you like a high return with
Mhm.
your effort and your time, and
Yeah.
you choose to come here. And I do agree with you. The feeling of making a decision and being fully confident it's going to be a good decision definitely feels very good. When I was studying my job, I was doing quality assurance, but not software engineer. It's food
Yeah.
quality
Staff
assurance.
Oh, okay.
It's very different. So the food quality assurance is tasting the food
Mhm.
and checking around on the factory and make sure the machines are clean, the operators are adhering to the guidelines. Okay. Yeah. So that's a very interesting. How do I say that? Very interesting experience in the beginning, but after a few months, things get a bit repetitive. And I just, it's feeling like sitting in the back seat of a car and someone is driving on the road for you. But one time when I went back to China, I visited my family, I talked to my friends, and they are having like amazing life, and they tell me the great opportunities there is in China. I'm like, oh, I actually have a lot of opportunities. I don't have to feel like I'm locked up in this career for the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
I feel like I can definitely do something, and that feels really empowering. I made a move to try to go to a different company. I send out my job application. I get interviews, and at the meantime, I tell my old company, "Hey, look, if you don't give me this new job position, which is R&D, I would actually leave this company." And actually, that worked out.
Yeah?
And that's like one moment that changed my career. I jumped
Wow.
from a repetitive job into something creative in my industry, and this position is not actually there in the company ever. They never had a R&D assistant because it's an entry level job.
Mhm.
But by just deciding I know I deserve better opportunities, and I'm
Yeah.
going to do something to get there
Yeah.
totally changed my career, and that's really empowering. I feel like coming to BCS is something similar to that. At one point, I was kind of locked in the idea that I have to be in the food science field for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
But then I just talk to friends, I talk to a lot of people, and I just sit back and think. And I know that I did that. I succeeded once of changing my career to R&D, and I know I can do something better than that as well. So I asked around, and I decided to come to computer science. And
Wow.
also by
That's
moving,
awesome.
making that move, I feel really, really happy. Like I love every day I spend at UBC.
Yeah.
Even though there are like 3 midterms in a week for me, I'm still happy about it. Yeah, because I'm suffering for what I feel good at, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Wow.
definitely very empowering. I'm going to pause this recording for a minute and just log into the screen. Just give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's start again in 3, 2, 1. Jasmine, how do you feel about the big change in your career, in your life?
Yeah, I think there were two things I want to like bring up. Like one, like when I decided to quit my master, it's because I came across a poem my coworker at the time wrote. It's about you should do things. The idea was you should do things out of love rather than fear. I feel like that's like what you were talking about with defense versus offense kind of thing. Because defense, I feel normally, I'm not so sure about sports, but like I feel like when people become defensive because they're fear of something, there is something they want to protect themselves from. When you're offensive because you want to get something, you want to pursue something, and then like I think in life is like you should do things out of like passion and love. Of course, easy said to be done, but it really feels different. Like when you do things out of like desire, you truly want to do this thing, like you mentioned, like you feel it's empowering versus like you're scared of like not having a job, like not be able to like find a role in the next 2 years or something. Or any other like fears. And so at that time, like I thought about that, and on a dog walk, I decided, okay, I'm gonna quit my master and do this thing I know right now I like. And there's another thing like I feel we should not prioritize the long term. Like we should have like overall planning sense, but we should not rely on happiness on some arbitrary future on achieving certain goals. We know that for so many different things.
Totally.
Yeah.
But sometimes like it's important to be happy now, prioritize the happiness now. So you are still a full self and continue to move forward towards that fullest self because you know better about yourself then, and you can make better choices when you're happy.
You're trusting yourself in the future, basically, right?
Yeah, it's trust. I mean, it's more you trust yourself now to give yourself the thing you want now, and then you will make like decision. Your future will not be shit. Basically, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like and we're all in the BCS program. Like we made decisions. Like even though there's uncertainty about like pausing career, like your career. From the past, or like taking 2 years out of like being in the job field, it's like we're making a good decision. Just trust that, and if it's something you truly want to do, the future like is open, and there's so many different opportunities out there for that. So that's like one thing I want to bring up, and then the other thing I forgot.
It's all right. You know what? Before I forget this topic, I actually want to mention this. I realized both of you guys mentioned that you went to some transfer experience in Singapore.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many good things about it. And around me, actually, I have a friend who is planning to do a transfer term in Singapore.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, can you guys tell me more about Singapore and your experience over there?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a quick look at your watch first to see if you missed your auction?
The eBay auction? It's 07. I think I have an alarm set. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I love Singapore. Why don't you talk about Singapore, Jasmine? Yeah,
Okay.
no, don't worry. I have a timer
very
going.
unique. I feel like my reason choosing Singapore is unique. I want to do exchange. So I want to get the most out of my degree, just to go to different places. And I chose Singapore partly because everybody who went to Singapore exchange come back saying, "Oh my God, that's the best experience ever. Singapore is a great country. I love it." And I don't know. I'm just like maybe my nature of myself is like a hater. So I feel like no, Singapore cannot be perfect. So like part of my reason going to Singapore is to figure out what's wrong about Singapore.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Like I was just like, no, but I also want to enjoy myself
Yeah,
for sure.
I see.
I also went in during the first term of my last year
Uh-huh.
of my 4th year engineering,
Okay.
and that's not normally what the time people would go on exchange. People go on
Yeah.
exchange want to have fun, take easy courses, but I have to take technical electives in Singapore. Like,
What does that mean?
that means like it's courses that matter. The scores
Mm,
matters,
yeah.
and especially I was thinking about like going to grad school as well.
Mm.
So that
Oh,
also
yeah.
matters. So that also made a difference in my experience, but I still fucked around for the first half term. I also picked up a part-time job in
Wow.
Singapore in Orchard,
Oh,
one of
really?
the malls,
What?
in a cafe. Because I
What?
worked part-time throughout my undergrad as a barista. Because I just, like I said, I didn't enjoy my degree, so I want to find something I enjoy outside of
I
school.
see.
So I did that.
That's your philosophy. I
Keep
can
talking,
see.
keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like that's also my way of trying to understand the country better by being an actual like infiltrate basically the local life as much as I can.
Yeah.
That kind of,
the-
like-
the local experience,
Yeah.
basically.
And it's so cool in the cafe where I worked at.
Uh-huh.
There's like Burmese and there's like people from Malaysia.
Uh-huh.
Like it really shows like Singapore's unique identity as a country and its relationship with all the other Southeast Asian countries. I don't know, but yeah.
in
And-
that region.
And then there are lots of good things. I think like Chris can touch upon that, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of tension between race and ethnicity,
Ethnicity.
and then there's like power imbalance in that as well. And
Mhm.
I was paid so shit working at a cafe. There's no minimum wage, or there is. I was paid $7
Oh,
like initially for a barista job per
What's-
hour.
what's a
Conversion rate?
what's a number you have in mind? Yeah.
Normally I get paid $16 in
Is-
Ontario.
Oh, but I mean, like different places have different, norms. Like
I know,
Singapore,
But
I
Singapore
assume
over
it's
is
going to be a
expensive
bit.
still.
But still, like for the local job market, do you know what is a normal?
And that's a normal
So,
there. But I was
oh,
just
I
shocked because
heard
I
you.
feel Singapore the price is not that much cheaper because the Singapore dollar is just slightly weaker than Canadian dollars.
Uh-huh.
So like I was shocked. And because I have experience, I got paid $9 per hour.
I see,
Wow,
I
my
see.
experience.
$9?
Yeah,
You got
like
you got ripped off.
that was crazy.
But the experience is, you said that you are a barista, right? In
Yeah,
Singapore?
yeah.
Like, did it differ a lot from what you
Yeah.
have in Canada?
Well, I worked at a local chain, and then
Where'd you work?
I forgot the name, but they have. I forgot the name. Oh, I forgot the name. I
Oh,
can find it
no.
out. It's on my LinkedIn. not this one, but for the others they were.
I heard you.
But
You forgot all the names in Singapore. You forgot the professor's name. You forgot the company's name you work for.
It's okay. But what shocked me about that one is like the quality assurance they have
Mhm.
from all the aunties in the shop. It's like,
Aunties.
like that's what you call them, aunties.
Yeah, I
Like,
heard you. That's
so
definitely something I
high.
heard. Yeah.
Like I was preparing a sandwich. They said you have to face this way. This needs to be there. I was like, this is fucking just
okay.
like
They're
just
really
like-
strict with the
job.
way you serve, the quality of your service, right? They are like
Yeah.
very, very strict. You have to do exactly like the procedure. Like even as detailed as where the sandwich is facing.
Yeah, like at least the auntie was making a big deal about it for me, and
Mhm.
also I sense there's some weird situation going on with the manager and the owner.
Okay.
I think there is like some not great things happening
heard
there.
you. Okay. How about the language they use in Singapore? Did you communicate mostly English or because I know you speak Mandarin as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess they also speak that over there in Singapore. Like
It's part of
in
the
terms of
official
the
language.
communication, how was your experience?
How was your experience?
Honestly, not bad at all. Like they do speak English everywhere,
Mhm.
and so I found like just navigating myself through the city, going to shops and stuff, having a little bit can always help. Like I found that in certain parts of the town, like Taobao is like takeaway, right? In Mandarin.
No.
Really? No.
That sounds-
Taobao is
the
the e-commerce
Yeah.
website.
I know. Is it?
Taobao,
Taobao.
Taobao,
Oh, there you go.
Taobao.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Uh,
So just having little things like that can help you.
heard
Just
you.
like when you're ordering places.
mhm.
There was a lot of English was super prevalent. My one asterisk on that was that the one place where I really wish I spoke another language. I really wish I spoke Mandarin was on the basketball court.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On I would play basketball games at NUS and sometimes I just felt like if I didn't speak Mandarin, I was not going to touch the ball. So
Oh.
What does that mean? They don't pass you the ball. They
Yeah,
don't get
yeah.
you in the
Because
team.
like I think
Just
when you were playing sports in
Uh-huh.
such heated, like you respond to the language you speak faster. Is it?
yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
there was just sometimes I wished like, oh, I kind of wished I was like part of this.
Yeah.
But no, like Singapore is a super like diverse country in terms of language.
I
And,
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also heard there's Singaporean English.
Oh,
That's a bit
Singlish.
different.
Singlish, yeah.
Like it's okay lah. Like they put some like
I still say
aging.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, did you guys feel it's a bit hard to like merging with that part of that touch of English? Did it cause trouble for you to understand when you communicate?
I don't think it was that difficult or anything. It's more fun, and there is definitely specific like words they created by combining Chinese and like English. I think it's almost like a license for me to bring my Mandarin into my English. To be honest, because I feel like I always need to speak English,
Yeah.
but then now I feel it's English exists. I can also just bring la. I would say let's go to dinner la.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
like to my boyfriend like, and
Uh-huh.
then I was proud in the end. I actually picked up a bit of accent. When I speak to a friend, I was something. My friend just said, "You sound like Singaporean now." I was like, "Nice."
That's good. Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Chris, how do you feel? Like you had no prior experience with Mandarin at all. So
Yeah.
how did that feel for you?
So, I can actually give you a Montreal example.
Yeah.
Montreal's a bilingual city,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
And what emerges is kind of like this language between English and French that they call franglais.
Franglais?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's like if you say like if you're ordering like à la belle Provence, you're not gonna order a chien chaud in French. You're gonna a dog.
Oh yes.
Je veux un hot dog. Je
Yeah.
veux ça steamé. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
like it's so it's like
Chien
a,
chaud, chien is dog. Chaud
Uh-huh.
is hot.
Hot
So
dog.
yeah, in French it's hot dog, but in Quebec definitely there's a lot of like language French imported from English.
yeah, but the relationship with like this informal like blend of languages with the government is not necessarily like a state of acknowledgement.
Mhm.
It's not on signs. The government doesn't encourage this. In fact, it's like and I heard in Singapore it was very similar that the Singaporean government did not necessarily feel positively towards Singlish.
Mhm.
And so it's something that
Interesting.
is used colloquially,
Mhm.
but it's also not something that like will find its way into permanent establishment. You won't see it on signs. You might see it in some marketing, especially on campus.
Lots
Like,
of marketing for sure.
but yeah.
It's
So
off the book, right?
it's a good way of thinking of it, but I don't want to say that it's like that is something that's just like not approved. Like, oh my god, no, it's
Mhm.
it's just something. It's a very interesting part of the culture, and you see that pop up in any place where there's a lot of cultures kind of
Mhm.
existing in the same place. I mean, Toronto had a lot of that too, like Toronto Men's, like Wagwan, all that stuff.
I don't really know what that is about.
I spent a year in Toronto. It's fine.
Oh, okay, I see.
There's like
you
there's
have to
like
be local to have that experience, right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
Jamaican language mixes in some parts into like English, and it's like
Ah.
it's like a very interesting like attribute of Toronto.
Oh.
And I love franglais, like I love all this stuff. I
Yeah.
think it's amazing. But yeah, I don't know. I think
Mhm.
definitely like
It's
when I-
interesting, right?
yeah. I still talk to some friends from Singapore, and like we will like I'll say la as well. Just stuff like
Okay,
that. Like,
I
it's
see, I
funny.
see. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is it kind of like food fusion? It's like sometimes it's not accepted by people who think it just need to be food need to be authentic this way. But like in terms of culture, we of course we have like meet together and create different like new language when two different languages. Like, some people will be like, oh, this is not proper. We should not be using this because it's not proper.
I see,
It's
like
like-
someone they're really strict with the grammar, the rules, like they think it's clear cut.
Or it's not prestigious
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
speak like a just a mix of things.
Mm,
Maybe I'm not so
Mm.
sure.
I heard you. Yeah, that's really, really interesting.
What a great parallel for BCS, eh? Like just people being interdisciplinary, like
Yeah.
mixing domains and stuff. Other people don't get us. It's fine.
yeah.
We definitely are from a very big variety of backgrounds, like people from different cultural backgrounds, people from different transfer program actually end up meeting together. Like,
Yeah.
you guys, I never
Yeah.
imagined that. Yeah, so that's definitely very interesting. And I also want to give a little context on Chris, like a few seconds leave a minute ago. he actually went off to place his bids on his eBay auction. That's
Yeah.
also something I want to actually bring up. So this like besides school, there's a lot of fun things we do. For fun
Yeah.
in our life. Like for me, my thing besides school is actually Facebook scavenging.
Oh,
Like I
yeah.
recycle a
Marketplace?
lot of used stuff on marketplace.
Mhm.
Like this watch I got it
Oh,
from
nice.
Facebook Market.
Oh, no kidding.
It only cost me like $20. I think it's going to be cost me much more like on the Facebook Market. But in general, I like to spend a lot of time on Facebook Market to buy some interesting stuff. And that
Mhm.
eBay thing is really interesting too. I think you bid for a pair of shoes, right?
Oh yeah, like people who know me really well, they know I have my eBay guy.
Uh-huh.
I'll send you guys the link later. He's just a guy that I think he or she
Mhm.
probably owns like a sporting goods store in like rural Ontario. And I have a feeling if he loses the box for a pair of shoes, or like he's got a floor model where like they're just scuffed and he can't sell it at full price, he'll just throw it on his eBay.
Mhm.
And this guy has probably sold like 25,000 shoes at this point, and he's
Yeah.
doing his like end of season sale.
Mhm.
I like a fresh pair of like blonde Timberlands will run like what, $210 at like Browns. I got a pair for like $60, and
Wow.
I just feel like I've hit the jackpot. And honestly, I buy like so much stuff on eBay. Like I think if you a lot of things if you buy new, you're kind of a sucker, in my opinion.
I want to check one thing with you though. So when you receive these shoes, do you
Yeah.
actually check to see if they are really authentic?
Oh, good question. A lot of the shoes that are sold are not the type that get faked, so they're not like Jordan or
Mhm.
Yeezys, or I don't even think they make those anymore. But yeah, like with eBay, this is such an interesting diversion, but you're throwing me down a rabbit hole here. Like eBay has seller ratings, and this guy, like, based on my educated guess, he has about 10,000 ratings, 99.5% positive. This is the type of guy where like, and again, I'm using guy, like I don't know if this guy or girl, like I just feel like I've been wearing his shoes for years now,
Yeah.
and they all seem legit.
Uh-huh.
Like, and the ratings are really good. So it's, and like, I have pretty good reason to assume like, no, like this guy just owns a
should be
store
good.
and like sells eBay stuff that he can't sell in the store.
I can
Like,
see. Yeah. So
Yeah.
judging by your response to this question, I can tell that you have a lot of experience. At least you
Thank
did
you.
your homework to make sure it's unlikely to be faked. So that's definitely very interesting.
yeah.
And for you, Jasmine, do you have something also like how do I say it? Not so popular hobby.
Not so popular hobby.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But that's interesting to share. Like I know, I went to the party you hosted the other day. I noticed there's a lot of like antique or like cool stuff in your apartment as well.
Oh, they're all from Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, there you go.
All my places, they furnish my stuff from
Yeah.
Facebook
Let's go.
Marketplace. So I think it's good to give an item another life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that's like
Mm-hmm.
reduce first. But I was concerned when you were sharing. You were saying you're gonna post a link. Cause like, are you like introducing more competitions to your future bids by sharing this link?
I don't know. Are you guys a size 8 men?
No. Okay.
Then you're good. Hey, none of you watching better be a size 8 man.
Yeah.
I'm warning you.
That's funny.
Uh-huh.
I don't really have anything so unpopular. I think I feel for any hobbies, there's people who are interested.
I get
in.
you. Interesting
Uh,
hobby in general. Maybe it doesn't have to be unpopular. It's just some hobby that's interesting to share.
Okay.
Okay.
I
It's-
if I could like interject, like I feel like every time you put a message in the WhatsApp or the Messenger, you're like on a hike or like running a marathon. Like, and you're playing tennis after this, aren't you? Like,
Yeah. I think it's just like I like to. I don't know if it's a hobby, but I just want to make sure I'm still having fun, like while in school. That's my main thing. But like, I of course I value and I put school really important, but I just want to make sure I'm still playing tennis.
Mm.
And then like, my non-negotiable for any time is like going to the gym a bit and then go
Mm.
for runs.
Mm.
And then sports is just like a fun thing to do. And then sometimes when I'm too stressed,
Mm.
high intensity sports are the best thing to pull me out of that space.
Mm-hmm.
High intensity.
Like it's just something you
sport.
cannot think. Sometimes running is good, but the opposite of that is like maybe tennis or volleyball.
Oh, okay.
So you
okay,
can do. I
see.
think I like both and to have those
Mhm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's yeah. I can definitely say you are a very sportive girl. Like
Oh.
I met you in a lot of like sportive occasions. The volleyball thing, right? The tennis. We didn't meet in tennis, but you talked to me and you wanted to know if I'm interested in playing
Yeah.
tennis. So definitely, there's a lot of sports events going on, and
Mhm.
also, that's definitely very fun. And well, I enjoy doing that. But also, I spend a lot of time at school, and like even there's a lot of things going on at UBC. I'm still exploring this school at the moment, but I can definitely tell like for different people there can be very different subset of UBC experience, and that they can
Mhm.
all be very very interesting. Like I talked to you guys. Actually, we kind of plan really hard to make this podcast happen because
Yeah.
you guys have other plans with the school and with your life.
Yeah.
In terms of UBC, I'm assuming you guys made like a really good plan with your school time. So, is there anything you can share with us about like non-study but UBC experience?
Not study.
Yeah, like for example, you go to hackathon. I'm just
Oh,
like
okay.
guessing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to start, Chris?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I was gonna ask if you applied to Hack Camp. Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I did it last year.
Oh, okay.
Was
Yeah.
it good?
Oh, it's pretty good. Like because the good thing about it, they assume you are like really newbies. You have no
Okay.
experience
Cool.
with any like coding, so they
Yeah.
break things down really like in fun pieces, and they
Oh,
go
that's nice.
kind of slow, and they give you more like workshops than the programming time. So they make sure that you are set up before you start to do anything.
Yeah.
So I really like that experience.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. Like, I was actually telling my girlfriend and her friend last night, like, I don't really know how to code yet. I could do stuff in Racket. Like, I could show a picture of a cat,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, that's pretty useful. Sometimes I want to see a picture of a cat. And I'm like, oh no, you have to give me the picture of the cat, and then I can show it to you.
I see.
Well, some people made like Floppy Bird, that game in
Oh, yeah?
Racket.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's on
I'm
GitHub,
not
so-
there yet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually know a TA from 110. Her name is Ellen. Ellen's like thanks for the help with 110 like problem set. She actually did like some. Wait, I think she was the one who made the
Flappy Bird?
Yeah, Flappy Bird.
No
For
way.
real?
I'm not too sure anymore,
I
but
mean, I
she
can
told
see
me
how
she
it's
did
done,
some
yeah.
like really cool
That's really
projects
cool.
just using Dr. Racket.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's a fully functional programming language.
Wow.
I think
It's
yeah,
just
it is.
not that popular, but they can do everything that other program
It's not about the
projects
tool,
can
it's
do.
about
Yeah,
the person. the
Wow.
knowledge.
Gregor would be so proud.
yeah.
I was hoping to make a game to like a Halloween game for him because he doesn't like pumpkin spice latte.
Oh
So I
yeah.
feel like just like a character going anywhere, it's like this explosion of pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure
That
he'd
sounds
appreciate
fun.
that.
Yeah, if I
Yeah.
have time
Yeah.
this month.
Yeah. Well, it's his last semester too, so.
I know,
Yeah.
so sad.
So sad.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
legend. He's
Yeah.
a legend.
But,
Mhm.
your extracurriculars.
Oh yeah. In terms of other stuff.
Let's give it.
Yeah.
to that.
Like I think.
Axels.
Yeah, like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of stuff going on. Like I think in my first degree, I kind of realized that I'm not someone who really believes in working during a degree, and I did for my first year. But then I was like, there's so much stuff you can do on campus,
Mhm.
so many opportunities that money will come later.
Mhm.
Just immerse yourself as much as you can while you're here. Like we have 2, maybe 3 years,
Mhm.
and there's honestly not enough time to try everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I got here, well, one, I applied to the social committee, which you also did. So we're on the social committee together.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for your PowerPoint karaoke.
Oh,
by
it's
the
gonna
way.
be so fun.
Yeah,
I-
tell us a
yeah.
little bit about that. It's
Yeah,
also a
please
good
do, yeah.
opportunity to give announcement to our upcoming events. That is one of the things I'm really looking forward to.
Should I do it
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us a little bit about your idea.
Oh, I stole this
What
idea from
is-
someone else, but
What is this PowerPoint event
so the
about?
full name is Military PowerPoint Karaoke. It's happening on October 18th, 6 to 8 p.m. in a room in the ICS buildings.
Mhm.
It's basically you're given a random, like a real PowerPoint presentation from the U.S. military,
Mhm.
and then you're just gonna start doing presentation on the fly, make up things as you go. and then it's just gonna be hilarious. It's like improv, but with like some like
Military theme stuff.
sometimes they're really ridiculous. I've seen some of those slides. And also, I hope that was I also introduced about the Internet Archive, this organization, which I think is doing really great things about archiving documents and pages on the internet. Yeah.
So I actually am very interested in this event because based on like her introduction, it seems like you definitely don't need any experience with military stuff. And the point of this event is you have to jump on the stage and start to make up scenes. Even though you don't understand it, you have to pretend you understand that and also convince the audience that you understand.
Well, you don't have to convince. You can say, "Hi, I'm Lieutenant Charlie. Today I'm giving you a presentation about how it's, like some culture stuff." It's
culture stuff.
There's wild topics like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that it's like this is our battle plan of attacking this village.
Oh no! It doesn't. It doesn't have that. Sometimes it's about math. Sometimes about drunk driving. Like the first time
How is that military? Drunk driving.
Military does everything. Yeah.
They're like a whole complex.
There's some really cool military. Okay, so it's a wild card deck of slides.
Yeah, basically.
And it can be about anything.
Yeah.
You can't even prepare for it. You just have to like jump on it. Do you get to see the deck before
No.
You don't know where the slide will go for the next one. You just go from slide to slide and make sure you make a story that can connect all the dots on the fly.
It doesn't need to be that high. You can just go as go as the slide comes up. You don't need to like create a whole story, but it's good to do that. It just depends on where you're at that day.
So who gets to win? Like how do you decide who wins? There's no winning.
Just everybody laugh.
Okay,
it's like a performance.
No, I actually, you know what? I'm going to place a little prize over there, and we can definitely think of a good way to judge the winning. Maybe who makes most people laugh, or people vote for that presentation, or who make things like look like they are actually making sense. Of the slides.
We can workshop those ideas.
And put that off, basically. Yeah.
We can workshop those
that can be really interesting. Yeah, we'll talk more about that, but that sounds like a really fun social event. And so guys, when is that again?
October 18th, a Friday, 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay, mark off your calendar, and we'll see you guys there. We don't have a location yet, but we'll post more about it.
We do have it, but I don't remember. I can't recite it.
Okay, no problem. Keep a close eye at our events. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. I could plug another event actually.
Yeah.
Not only do I not know where it is, I don't know the date. I'm kidding. I know where it is. The other thing that I'm involved in is the UBC AI Safety Club, which is a new club on campus dedicated to giving students resources to either explore a career in technical AI research or AI policy/governance. And yeah, this is our first semester doing it, and I mean, I've been here a month, and I met the president as he was getting it started up, and it's amazing seeing just how many people on UBC campus are excited and want this type of thing.
Yeah.
The reception that we've gotten so far is really encouraging. We had about 60 people come to our launch event.
Wow,
and
nice.
We opened applications for our first intro course last month, and also got I think close
60.
to 100. Yeah, we got about 60 applications as well. Are you on the Slack now?
No, it's in the email for you're in. It's like we received over 60 participants, and you got a spot.
Oh, did you get accepted?
Yeah, I got accepted.
Congrats. That's awesome. I heard that it was really competitive, because we were like, okay, maybe we'll be able to host 2 or 3 groups, and then I think if we wanted to, we could have done 10. And we just were not big enough as an organization yet. But yeah, so that's what's so exciting is it feels like we need to grow to meet demand, which is amazing. But we have a social that is, I think, happening on the 22nd of October at the Art Student Center at 7 p.m. And if that is all correct, I'm amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
But also, for anyone that is interested in reading more about AI policy, I am personally facilitating an open reading group every week. We're making an announcement about that probably today, actually. What we're going to do is meet once a week and just go do a deep dive on some development in AI policy. this past week, the California AI safety bill just got vetoed by their governor, which was, when it was being considered, was like, this could be like the premier AI safety bill in North America that could basically influence all future policy. Like, this would be a very much needed win. And it was vetoed, and a statement was released as to why it was vetoed. And it's like, I really want us to meet and understand the policy levers that led to that decision getting made. I don't want us to stop at just like, oh, companies are greedy, like America just wants money. Like, I think, like you said, like, it's better to improve the government rather than take it down. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, we'll make an announcement on our Slack soon. Check us out on Instagram and website.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always easier to the idea of starting something brand new than fixing something.
Totally.
It's just like, but I was reading about that on LinkedIn because I used to work for GovTech, and all my coworkers, so like we always like follow those kind of trends and stuff. I was like, yeah, I would like to understand that better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, you should come. It's gonna be on Thursday.
But
But
my Thursday is packed.
it's all good.
That's it. Like, yeah, we all have very, very busy schedule. I actually really want to go deeper with it, but we are running out of time with our appointment, so I'm probably going to wrap it up here. I feel it's a bit pity that we still haven't get to the topic that where we are talking about our bridging module, but we can save it for another day. But again, thanks a lot for the introduction of the upcoming events with BCS and with the club you are doing with the plan of how you want to spend your time on campus. And there's definitely much more to explore with UBC, and we can go deeper with that in the future. And before I close the entire podcast, I also want to mention within BCS, we are also planning a career-related event. The date is to be determined, and the place is still to be determined, but we are sure it's going to happen. It's a workshop about networking skills. So we had a very amazing networking occasion actually at the very beginning of the term. Everyone played the bingo game and people start to connect with each other.
That was sick.
I really loved that experience. And you will need the networking experience moving forward when you are trying to look for a job. There are a lot of info sessions. That's where I spend a lot of time with my extra time off class. Sometimes I even skip class to go there. Info sessions is the occasion where the employers come to the company and tell you about their company, and you can actually talk to the real people, see how their hiring process is, how do they screen their resumes, and it doesn't actually take that much of skills to be good at networking because you only need to spend like 5-10 minutes with each person. You are not supposed to give them a date experience to get what you want from them. So it doesn't take that much of knowledge to be there, but the importance is that you know something. You have like a game plan when you do the networking. Personally, for me, it's more like, hi, I'm Charlie. Introduce myself and see what comes out of that person and see and play along with the conversation. But there's definitely more to it, and sometimes people do it intuitively without thinking. Bilal is going to host that event, and we are thinking about host it in a coffee where people can get comfortable moving around and talk to each other in a public setting. And this is one thing coming up, and we are doing that because we are trying to set up people's skill for another event coming along in the future. That is a panel discussion that we decided to make. We are collaborating with Women in CS. In this event, we want to give an outlook of computer science in different industries. We've heard a lot of panel discussions or info sessions for the computer science industry in a different way of cutting things. You can be a back-end engineer, you can be a UI UX designer, you can be a product manager. But for BCS, this other way of cutting computer science makes more sense. People are from different backgrounds. You are from environmental engineering, although you're not doing that. You are from commerce. But the thing is, we intuitively know that computer science can be incorporated in different industries. People use computer science to do payment technology. People use computer science to do like food resource management. People use that for health tech. People use that for like many other fields. And we want to invite people in a field like popular industry. We can't cover all the industries and tell people how computer science can be applied in these industries to give people a different perspective of what they want. And we also will encourage the mentors to help students decide how they can choose their courses to make their skill set more aligned to their goals in the career. So that's two exciting events that we are planning up maybe in the coming 2 months. Um, and we'll give more update about that in the future. And yeah, that's about it for this episode of BCS Talks. Thanks a lot for coming, Jasmine. Thanks a lot for coming, Chris. And stay tuned with us. We'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.